Good morning. A new law to ban smoking activities and the possession of any smoking products, including electric cigarettes and vapes for those born after 2005, will be tabled in Parliament in July. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said the bill was currently being finalised by the Attorney General's chambers.
Saya rasa dalam tempoh seminggu dua ni dah selesai dan boleh saya bawa ke jawatankuasa pilihan khas di Parlimen dulu. Untuk saya bentangkan kepada jawatankuasa pilihan khas kesihatan dan teknologi.
Khairi said this to the media after the launch of the National Level Community Health Agent, My Champion in Sepang, Selangor on Saturday. On February 17th, he announced the introduction of the law, which was aimed at reducing the exposure of future generations to cigarettes and smoking products, as their consumption is a major factor in cancer incidences and accounts for 22% of cancer deaths. In his speech, the minister also asked My Champion volunteers to remind members of the public who are caught smoking in no-smoking areas, especially in restaurants, where it is an effort to make Malaysia a smoke-free country. He added that the action of some smokers who smoked next to children and seniors at eateries was also selfish and against the law. My Champion is a team of volunteers in the field who acts as an agent to bring change in mindset and health behaviours to the community and indirectly help Malaysia enter the endemic transition phase. Last year, a total of 7,000 volunteers had been appointed under My Champion, and the ministry was targeting to appoint another 10,000 within this year. Khairi also shared that his ministry would launch a massive health screening campaign involving 1.5 million people this July, and the details will be announced soon. Meanwhile, Khairi stressed that the Health Ministry can take legal action against individuals who falsify the COVID-19 Antigen Rapid Test Kit (RTK) results in the MySejahtera application. He said reporting fake COVID-19 screening results was an irresponsible act, and therefore employers could report to the ministry if they found that their employees had done so to escape work.
Nasib dia tak baik, majikan suruh dia pergi buat RTK profesional, dia kantoi nanti. Dan kita boleh ambil tindakan undang-undang. Jadi jangan sampai kita terpaksa ambil tindakan undang-undang kerana salah lapor di bawah MySejahtera yang menjadi kesalahan. Tetapi pokok pangkalnya balik kepada kejujuran individu lah. Sekarang ini bila kita masuk ke fasa peralihan, let's be honest to each other and to yourself. Buat apa kita nak palsukan test?
On another matter, Khairi assured that the ministry did not share MySejahtera user data with any third party, adding that the data cannot be used for other purposes other than monitoring the COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, MySejahtera is owned by the Health Ministry, including all data in the application. The government, through the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry, KPD and HEP, wants to nurture a new generation of smart consumers and ethical traders. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said in this regard, various consumerism programs will be formulated by the ministry to empower consumers, particularly in the aspects of financial literacy, purchasing decisions and compensation. According to the Prime Minister, a total of 24,150 complaints related to online transactions were received by KPD and HEP following the implementation of the Movement Control Order, MCO. He said this was 36.45% of the total of 66,255 complaints received by the ministry for the period between March 2020 to February of this year.
Ini memberi indikasi bahawa sebilangan besar pengguna menyedari dan memahami hak mereka dengan menyalurkan aduan apabila berlakunya sebarang salah laku oleh peniaga.
Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said this when officiating the National Consumer Day Celebration 2022 in Kuala Lumpur on Saturday. He added that to empower the digital consumer, the government has developed the Easy Adu application as another consumer complaint platform, which will further strengthen existing consumer protection initiatives. He pointed out that the application was developed in 2015 and had undergone improvements last year to ensure complainants can immediately channel issues through their smartphones. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri also advised consumers to check all necessary details before making online purchases to prevent them from being cheated. The Prime Minister also urged consumers to obtain information from the ministry's officers prior to making their purchases if they are hesitant or unsure. In the meantime, at the same event, it was announced that the government's Keluarga Malaysia sales program will be extended to enable the people to get supplies of daily essential goods at cheaper than market prices during Ramadan. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Dato Sri Alexander Nanta Linggi said the matter was given the green light by the Prime Minister.
Dia tamat hujung bulan ini. Tapi baru-baru ini kementerian telah mengangkat sebuah surat, satu surat kepada Yang Amat Berhormat. Jadi saya boleh katakan di sinilah. Kemarin Yang Amat Berhormat bagi tahu kepada saya bila baca surat tu boleh elak kata dia Kabinet dibenarkan untuk melanjutkan program ini. Sebab sekarang ada banyak juga wakil-wakil rakyat, industri players, hypermarket dan sebagainya memang suka datang bersama untuk bersama dalam program ini. Program Jualan Malaysia.
Dato Sri Alexander Nanta added the program was supposed to end this month. However, his ministry had recently requested from Dato Sri Ismail Sabri for his approval on the extension. He also said although KPDN HEP has been allowed to continue with the program until the end of Ramadan, the ministry needs to fine-tune some details for it to be more accessible and comprehensive. Meanwhile, at a different event, Dato Sri Ismail Sabri said groundwater could be used as an alternative source of water supply for the country. This is due to Malaysia having an estimated 5,000 billion cubic meters of groundwater resource and regeneration capability of 64 billion cubic meters annually. The Prime Minister said, based on the National Water Resources Study for Peninsular Malaysia 2000 to 2050, groundwater can be used as an alternative water supply for rural as well as isolated areas and for various purposes including industry, agriculture and domestic through several suitable methods and processes.
Kapasiti ini sangat besar dan sudah tentu berupaya menjadi sumber alternatif bekalan air negara. Penggunaan air bawah tanah di Malaysia sebenarnya kurang daripada 3% berbanding dengan negara-negara lain seperti Denmark 100%, Austria 98%, Thailand jiran kita 80%, China 78% dan Amerika Syarikat 50%.
Dato Sri Ismail Sabri said this when launching the National Level World Water Day 2022 celebration in Bera Pahang on Saturday. He added, for now, groundwater was only used as a source of drinking water in Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, Sabah and Sarawak. He also said the Energy and Natural Resources Ministry, through the Minerals and Geoscience Department, was actively implementing activities such as mapping, development, monitoring and development of data center and groundwater inventory to increase use of groundwater. This measure was carried out to increase the use of groundwater as a conjunctive source of water supply for the use of structures such as underground dams, managed aquifer recharge and riverbank filtration. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri also revealed that the government was reviewing the National Water Resources Policy, DSAN, which will take into account the current situation and challenges faced by the country's water sector. DSAN, which emphasizes the need for environmental protection to conserve water resources, will also be aligned with the Water Sector Transformation Plan 2040 and the development plans under the 12th Malaysia Plan. The Prime Minister pointed out, although Malaysia has sufficient resources to provide safe and treated water, there were still issues and challenges related to water management that needed to be addressed effectively to achieve a sustainable and holistic management of the country's water resources. The issues include excessive quantities of water during the rainy season, insufficient amounts during drought, as well as deteriorating water quality and uneven distribution. 70% of the Johor State Executive Council EXCO members who were appointed on Saturday morning are under the age of 40. The 10 state assemblymen who were sworn in before the Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, are also a combination of knowledgeable young leaders as well as those loaded with experience. Sultan Ibrahim, in a post on his official Facebook page, reminded the newly appointed Exco members to remain focused in carrying out their duties based on their respective portfolios and to fulfill the promises made to Johorians during the recent state polls. The ruler also said he will always monitor the performance of all Exco members and warned that he will replace any of them who did not live up to expectations. Earlier, the 10 Exco members took the oath of office before Sultan Ibrahim in a swearing-in ceremony held at Balai Mengadap, Istana Bukit Serene in Johor Bahru. Also present were Tunku Mahkota of Johor, Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim and Dato' On Hafiz Ghazi, who was sworn in as the 19th Johor Menteri Besar on March 15th, and also will be holding the Land Revenue Administration, Finance, Planning and Economic Development portfolios. While the rest of the Exco lineup included Buloh Kasab Assemblyman Dato' Zahari Sarip, Bukit Permai Assemblyman Dato' Muhammad Jafni Mat Syukur and Tenggaro Assemblyman K. Ravan Kumar. Also appointed were Serum Assemblywoman Khairin Nisa Ismail, Larkin Assemblyman Muhammad Hairi Mat Shah, Semerah Assemblyman Muhammad Farid Muhammad Khalid and Yongping Assemblyman Ling Tian Sun. The remaining Exco members were Palo Assemblyman Lee Ting Han, Bukit Pasir Assemblyman Muhammad Fazli Muhammad Saleh and Johor Lama Assemblywoman Nurliza Noh. At a press conference later at the Menteri Besar's official residence, Dato' On Hafiz, who is also Machap Assemblyman, said the Exco lineup consists of leaders of various races, apart from taking into account the gender balance and a true reflection of bangsa Johor.
Saya percaya dan yakin Barisan Exco ini berupaya menggalas tugas dan tanggungjawab yang diberikan dengan penuh amanah, dedikasi dan integriti sepanjang tempoh 5 tahun yang akan datang.
He added, the new state administration would emphasize the concept of Bangsa Johor, where all people of Johor, irrespective of religion and background, will be equally involved in developing the state, as well as focusing directly on prosperity to ensure the economic standing and interests of the state population are preserved. More local news later in the bulletin, but first, thousands flee as Philippine volcano erupts. This and more when we return. Welcome back. Thousands of people fled their homes near the Philippine volcano after an eruption sent ash and steam hundreds of meters into the sky. According to Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, Taal volcano, which sits in the picturesque lake south of Manila, exploded with a short-lived burst at 7:22 a.m. local time on Saturday. The initial eruption was followed by nearly continuous free-to-magnetic activity that sent plumes stretching 1,500 meters into the sky, raising the alert level from 2 to 3 on a scale of 0 to 5. The Institute also warned that further eruptions were possible, which it said could trigger dangerous, fast-moving volcanic flows of gas, ash and debris, as well as a tsunami. Residents in 5 fishing and farming settlements around the lake were ordered to leave their homes in the third mass evacuation in as many years around one of the country's most active volcanoes. The United States called Friday for tougher UN sanctions after North Korea said it test-fired its biggest intercontinental ballistic missile to date, with Kim Jong-un vowing to expand his country's nuclear war deterrent while preparing for a long-standing confrontation with the United States. At a UN Security Council meeting on Friday, US Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield said the US would propose a resolution to update and strengthen Security Council sanctions. However, she declined to specify what those new measures might be. Pyongyang's launch on Thursday extended a barrage of weapons demonstrations this year that analysts say are aiming at forcing the United States to accept the idea of North Korea as a nuclear power and remove crippling sanctions against its broken economy. The Council originally imposed sanctions after the North's first nuclear test explosion in 2006 and tightened them over the years. But last fall, veto-wielding China and Russia called for lifting sanctions against their neighbour. In another development, construction excavators dug into a crash site on Saturday in the search for wreckage. Remains and the second black box from a China Eastern Airlines Boeing 737-800 that nosedived into the mountainside in southern China this week with 132 people on board. So far, they have only found an emergency location transmitter from the plane that had been close to where the second black box, the flight data recorder, had been installed. The team is also seeking the data module from the flight data recorder itself, but muddy conditions in the rainy region is hampering the search. No survivors have been found, and the cause of the crash remains a mystery. Flight MU5735 from the city of Kunming in southwestern China was flying at 29,000 feet when it suddenly plunged into the ground. McLaren goal gives City imported away win against Macarthur. Actions from the A-League when we come back. Malaysia 2-1 in an international friendly at the Singapore National Stadium on Saturday. Singapore's striker Iksan Fandi, who is the son of legendary Singaporean striker Fandi Ahmad, scored 2 goals in the 30th and 76th minute to give the Lions bragging rights. Midfielder Liridon Krasniki had pulled Malaysia level in the 57th minute before Iksan's winner. It was coach Kim Pangon's first defeat as the national coach. Still on football, Melbourne City's trio of Socceroo attackers have proved the difference as the defending A-League men champions defeated Macarthur FC 1-0. After being limited to just 5 minutes off the bench in Australia's 2-0 World Cup qualifying loss to Japan on Thursday, Jamie McLaren turned match winner for City in the 64th minute when he capitalised on the build-up play of Matt Leckie and Andrew Nabout. Macarthur will now turn their focus to Sydney FC on Wednesday evening, while City, 3 points clear at the top, face Wellington next Saturday. Two men held for obstructing an ambulance in Klang. Details when we return. Welcome back. Pulau Pinang is amongst the states that are driving the country's economic recovery at a faster rate, especially involving the electronic and electrical E&E manufacturing sector due to its robust industrial ecosystem. Special Investment Advisor to Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Datuk Sri Lee Kah Chun said aside from the Klang Valley, the state also has the potential to stimulate the inflow of foreign investments post-COVID-19.
As the electronic and electrical sector is concerned, it is doing very, very well for Malaysia. The reason is because if you look at the totality in terms of our economy, actually Malaysia's total export for the E&E made up of about 40% of our export. So it's a very important section of our economy. And we are proud to say that as far as Penang is concerned, we contribute about 60% of all these 40% of Malaysia's total export. So in terms of economy...
Speaking on Money Matters, which was aired on TV3 on Saturday, he added that locals were encouraged to take advantage of the job vacancies offered in the state to fulfill its need for a high-skilled workforce. This was due to the state's business-friendly policies, which has attracted many investors and at the same time opened more employment opportunities for Malaysians as well. As an active supply chain, Pulau Pinang's attractiveness will also help Malaysia gain more foreign direct investments in the future.
At that time, of course, Penang was relying on entry port and trading as its main economic generator. So in 1972, that was the first transformation of the Penang economy from entrepot and trading-based economy to electronics. Right. So at that time, we invited some multinational companies to Penang. As far as this celebration is concerned, we want to showcase the capability as well as the expertise that we have achieved so far, has accumulated so far, so that we want to tell the whole world that if, let's say, you want to invest in anywhere other than your home country, please do not overlook the possibility of coming to Malaysia as well as Penang, as far as the electronic and electrical industry is concerned. We also want to showcase the capabilities that we have in Penang, so that if there is any opportunity of economic as well as technological collaboration with the companies that we have in Penang as well as in Malaysia, please don't bypass us. Actually, Penang's success is also Malaysia's success. We are together. So if you look at it, as far as the electronic and electrical sector is concerned, it is doing very, very well for Malaysia. The reason is because if you look at the totality in terms of our economy, actually Malaysia's total export for the E&E made up of about 40% of our export. So it's a very important section of our economy. And we are proud to say that as far as Penang is concerned, we contribute about 60% of all these 40% of Malaysia's total export.
Police arrested two men for deliberately obstructing an ambulance that was taking a patient to hospital on Thursday. South Klang Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Cha Hung Fung said the two suspects were nabbed at 4 p.m. on Friday following a police report lodged by the ambulance driver. According to Cha in a statement, authorities will apply for a remand order against the two men aged 53 and 30 at the Klang court. He added that the arrest was also made following a review of a video recording that went viral on social media, which showed the ambulance being stopped by the suspects, one of them driving a white Toyota Hiace, while the other riding a blue Modernas Chris motorcycle. During the incident, the ambulance driver was taking a dialysis patient to Sri Kota Hospital in Klang when he noticed the Toyota Hiace driver was tailgating his vehicle closely. The complainant warned the van driver using a loudspeaker to keep his vehicle away as it was dangerous, but soon after the motorcyclist suddenly appeared and stopped in front of the ambulance. The man then got off his motorcycle and approached the driver's side door before ordering the complainant to get out, but he reversed his ambulance to avoid conflict and managed to elude the suspects. Check on both suspects, however, revealed the duo did not have any past criminal records. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for driving in a dangerous manner and for wrongful obstruction. On a lighter note, over 190 countries and territories are celebrating Earth Hour 2022 on Saturday night. The event, the world's largest grassroots movement for the environment, sees millions across the globe showing solidarity for nature and the planet. In Malaysia, two of the country's iconic landmarks, Petronas Twin Towers and KL Tower, switched off their lights in conjunction with the Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF's flagship global environmental movement. Historically, Earth Hour focused on climate crisis, but more recently, Earth Hour has strived to address a range of concerns facing people and the planet. Since its inception in 2007, Earth Hour has inspired global initiatives for the protection of nature, climate, and the environment, helping drive awareness, action, and policy change. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look at the Cirque du Soleil. A surrealist Mexican-inspired spectacle returns with its first post-pandemic tour in Europe. With that, I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.